And now we'll shift our awareness from our physical body to our mental body. And I want you to notice the nature of your thoughts. So are they bouncing all over the place? Are they obsessed on this one thing, right? Wherever they are, it's completely normal. I just want you to be aware of where your brain has been taking you lately. Okay, girls, let that go. And now come to that heart center in your emotional body. How are you feeling? Right? And just being completely real, like whether you woke up on the right side of the bed with gratitude, or you're about to rip your hair out with school or work or staying home, it's okay. Just observe how you're feeling. Okay, letting that go. And bring your focus to your breathing here. Just sitting on the floor or outside. If your breath feels a little bit shallow, we're going to start to deepen it here. So go ahead and draw the breath down into the low belly, especially on that inhale breath. And on the exhale, just watch your belly gently pull back in toward your spine. So you don't have to force it. You just have to nudge it a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper. So a few more times, lengthening the breath out. We're going to add one more step to this. While your breath is deepening, I want you to think of something that you kind of need in your life. We're going to try and pare it down to like one word. For example, peace, calmness, confidence, strength, whatever it is. So finding a word that fits you right now. And now use that word on your in-breath and your out-breath, right? So as you breathe in, feel that word just coming in to your whole body and mind and heart. And on your breath out, that word kind of surrounds you too, like surrounds you in a bubble. So inhaling that word and exhaling that word on your own for a few times here. So at any point during class, you notice your mind get distracted, you can come back to this word if that helps, or at least come back to just the breath in and out of the body. And so now that we're there, you can choose to keep your eyes closed or we can open them. It's up to you. We're just going to do some shoulder rolls to start. So taking shoulders, actually we're going to go back behind us first, up to the ceiling, to the front, and then down. So just shoulder rolls back to front. Slide back to my mat. Any point the seat gets uncomfortable, you know, changing your position, not a big deal. All right, girls, next time we let those shoulders drop to the floor, we're going to reverse the direction. So now take your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. So kind of combating that, you know, that hunched posture that a lot of us tend to get. I would say driving increases mine, but I have not been driving. So just rolling those shoulders back one more time and then relaxing the shoulders down and taking a breath. Check your posture before we move any deeper, right? So tailbone rooting down to the floor, top of the crown lifting up to the sky. We're just going to move the arms with the breath here. So if you could take your fingertips to the ground next to you. On the inhale breath, you sweep your arms all the way over your head. Hands can say shoulder distance or you can touch your palms. On the exhale, palms face down, fingertips to the floor. Got it. Guys look great. Inhaling up. Then exhaling down. So use your own breath. Do one more like that at your own pace. Stretching through the ribs, the armpits, the arms, the waist. Good job. Next time you come up, we're going to interlace our hands. So inhaling the arms all the way back overhead, interlace your fingers together, and then point your palms up to the sky. So flipping the hands. Draw your shoulders down your back and pull those lower ribs into your body, right? So I know my boink out a little bit. So pull those ribs in so your abs are getting some engagement. So hold here, breathe. If this is not enough, we're gonna add a little extra. So we're gonna lean over to one side, doesn't matter which side. So just a little extra stretch, breathe, side lean. Inhale to come straight, and then exhale, let's go to the other side. Take your time. Inhale, we're gonna come all the way back, girls, and then exhale, releasing those fingers to the floor. Ooh, all right, arms warmed up, ribs warmed up. We're gonna just add a little bit of neck stuff. I don't know about you guys, but my neck's been crazy lately. So lengthen that cervical spine, nice and tall, and we're just gonna side bend one ear down to one shoulder. Doesn't matter which one. And then check that breath that you had in the beginning of class. Make sure it's still there. Right? If you can, visualize all your stress and tension melting out of your neck. Then take the inhale to lift your head back up, and then exhale, other ear down. Take your time. All right, everybody, inhale your head back on top. We're just gonna do a couple extra neck things here. I think it's much needed. So cervical spine, again, is tall. You're gonna just look over one shoulder like you're looking behind you. So twisting the neck to one side, get to the spot where it feels okay, it's not too much. And then we're gonna nod up and down. So you're gonna drop your chin to your chest and then lifting the head. Chin can be parallel or you can go a little higher. So do that 3 times. All right, dropping the chin and lifting the chin. When you finish that third one, gently take your neck back, turn to center. All right, we'll do the other side. Here we go, girls. So turning to look over your other shoulder. And then nodding. If you want to add an exhale as the chin drops, and an inhale as the chin lifts. One more. When you finish the third one, gently taking neck back to center. And just one more thing for the neck. Draw your chin all the way down to your heart. Right, keep the shoulders back and down, belly in, and then we're gonna sway the chin back and forth. So swinging over toward one shoulder, don't go past that shoulder, and then swinging back through the heart to the other side. Ooh, I got some cracks in there. So back and forth in the front of the body. Okay, trying to drain out our stress, get rid of some of that neck anger. Next time your chin makes it through the heart center, we'll pause there, take a breath. Then on the inhale, lifting chin parallel to the floor. Oh, feels good. Okay. From here, we had a lot of stretch requests today, so we're gonna do some stretching. Let's extend out this right leg out to the side. All right, so you keep that left knee bent in. Still feeling like both sides of your sitting bones are grounding into the floor. You can even flex that right foot, keep your joints safe. We're just gonna do a little side lean first. So we're taking the left arm up to the sky, right? Ground through the left shoulder though, and then reaching across that leg, that right leg. And just seeing where you feel it. Is it the rib cage? Is it the armpit? Is it the waist? I feel it in my back actually. So just feel where you are and breathe into that tight spot. And then take a big inhale to lift the heart and the arm. Exhale, release the arm. We're gonna do a little solid gold dancer move. I don't know if everybody is old enough to remember them on this screen, but maybe. So if you have sensitive knees, you're gonna pad under this left knee. Otherwise, taking the left hand to the outside of the left hip. And then we're gonna sweep this right arm up. Lift your hips. See if you can get the weight mostly in the knee and the right foot as you reach up and over and behind you. If that is too much, keep the glutes on the floor and just reach up and back. Okay, so everybody's doing what they need to do. Breathe, stretch. All right, gang, take the hips back to the mat. Arms down, good. We're just gonna switch sides here. So you're gonna extend out that left leg and bend in the right one. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. All right, and once you got here, we're lifting this right arm to the sky and side leaning to the left. So just, again, checking in to see where you're feeling it. Now I feel a little crunch in my bottom ribs, so I'm gonna come back up and go back into it. So if you ever feel a little kinked or pinched, definitely come out of the pose and re-lengthen. Good, big inhale to take you up out of this posture. All right, and we're gonna work that same hand comes to the outer hip, right? And then we're gonna lift this left arm up and over, trying to lift the hips up off the ground. If that's too much, drop your hips to the floor and just work the stretch. Solid gold dancer move. All right, ladies, taking those seats back to the mat. Awesome, perfect. Now, keep one of your knees is bent, one of your legs is straight. We're gonna bend the straight one, so the soles of the feet come together in front of us, making a big diamond shape. So not a Baddha Konasana close in, but far away. Check your posture, nice and tall, shoulders back and down. And then we're gonna work just a cat-cow with our legs like this. So hands anywhere on the knees or shins. I want you to inhale, lift the heart as high as you can, shoulders down. And then exhale, tuck your tailbone, drop your chin, round through your shoulder blades and just round that back. So inhale, opposite move, lift the heart forward, tip your tailbone forward. And then exhale, tuck it under. So I know you know this one, so a nice seated cat-cow. And as you're doing it, incorporate the mindfulness, right? Where do you feel sensation in this posture? Let's do 2 more at your own pace. Big inhale to lift and spread through the chest. Big exhale to really stretch through the back and the lats. Take your time. When you are finished, we'll come up to a nice tall heart, shoulders down, legs are in the same position. And then we're gonna circle. So you're just gonna circle the upper body. And again, another opportunity to check in with our body and say, okay, what am I feeling? What do I need to pay attention to? Take deep breaths. And then switch directions of your circles. All right, gang, come back to center. And then these feet that you have in front of you, we're gonna pull them a little closer in. Not so far though that your back is rounding. So if you have to sit on blocks or your blanket, go ahead. So pulling those feet in towards you, trying to let the inner edges open like a book so your hips and knees can relax a little bit. Shoulders back and down and just see how this feels. If this is excruciating, you stay here or push your feet forward, right? If you feel okay, we're gonna add a little bit more. Keeping your flat back, just energy-wise, lift the heart up to the sky and fold a little bit at your hip hinges. Doesn't have to be much to feel it, right? So finding your spot where you're feeling that good stretch, inner thigh, maybe in your back too. So we're gonna avoid rounding for now because it's the beginning class, and later we will round. So just do one more giant breath in our Baddha Konasana. And then we're gonna lift the heart back up, sit nice and tall. Perfect. Okay, gang, we're gonna flip one of those knees and we're gonna come into a child's pose. So you'll have to get on hands and knees for a moment, right? If you need your blanket, take it. If you don't, push it out of the way, right? So coming to child's pose, once you're on your hands and knees, just sinking your hips to your feet and your forehead rests on the ground. If your forehead doesn't touch the ground, grab hold of your block and rest it or a blanket. So just sinking down here in your child's pose. And I want you to not necessarily worry about alignment, right? But feel the sensation of surrender, right? Surrender into the floor. You can feel the breath moving your ribs, especially those back ribs. You are in control, right, of your emotions. And if you want to, you can decide to just feel supported and let your worries come later. Or never let them come would be great, but for now, just feeling like you can relax in your child's pose. And anytime you feel like you want to come here, you come here. All right, so child's pose, all I want us to do is walk our hands toward our knees so that you're coming up to a kneeling position. So we're just stretching the fronts of the feet, the tops of the feet here. If this is too uncomfortable, you can come out. So feeling that the tops of the feet are getting a stretch, and then we're going to sweep the arms behind us, interlacing the fingers. Right, so shoulders down, bellies in, and then draw that hand away from your back with soft elbows. So your hand reaches for wherever you are behind you. And then just really breathe into that heart center in the front of the chest. So you're working your ankles and your chest and your shoulders at the same time. All right, releasing the hands. We're gonna walk the hands forward into our table, and we're gonna do the opposite stretch for those ankles. So you're gonna tuck the toes under now, tucking those toes, and then walking your hands back to your knees so that you're sitting back into that high kneel. If this is not working for you, you don't do it, right? You could also sit on a block or put blanket underneath the fronts of your ankles. And we're just gonna sit here for a moment. I want you to close your eyes in this kneeling position, and I want you to breathe your word in again, 3 times. Inhale, 3 times exhale. Once you're finished with those 3 breaths, reopen your eyes and crawl your hands back forward into table pose. Right, so your hands are under your shoulders and knees are under your hips. We're gonna go for a little twist here, a little lunge first, lunge and twist. So we're gonna step the left foot up toward the left hand, right? So that left knee's over the left ankle, and you can scooch your right knee back to the degree you need to feel a hip stretch, up to you, right? If you feel crunched, grab your block and take it under your hands, or your stack of books or whatever you have. If not, your hands can stay on the ground. So just holding and sinking into this lunge. Try to hug that left knee in toward your left armpit. Extend the long spine, breathe here. And then we'll add a little bit. So we're gonna press through the right hand and take the left arm up to the sky, adding a twist. Right? If that's too much on your shoulder, you can take that left hand just to press into that left thigh. Also gives you a little bit more rotation if your shoulder's bothering you too. So either way, left hand on thigh or left hand to the sky. And for those of you who want a little extra, you could even bend that left elbow and drop the hand behind the back into like a bind, reaching for your right hip. But no pressure, wherever you are is perfect. Nice, everybody breathe deep. All right, left arm's gonna swing around and find the floor next to the left foot again. Perfect. Now slide that left knee back in line under your left hip. Find your breath, see how you feel. If you're good, you're ready to do the other side, right? So we're gonna step the right foot up toward the right hand, right? Just aligning the right knee over the ankle just to make sure you're safe. And then you can inch that left knee back if you need to. You might not need to, depends on your body. And if you feel crunched, again, you can grab your block under your hand. So holding here in your lunge, hugging in, hips toward each other, right? Almost feel like your hips could squeeze toward each other. And your spine is trying to move in both directions, right? Tailbone away and head away at the same time, kind of like a tug of war rope. All right, here we're gonna add our twist. Guys, we're gonna take that left hand to ground into the floor or even into your block if you need extra space. The right arm will sweep up to the sky. If you need to remember, you can take your right hand on your thigh or drape your right arm behind your back. All right, one more breath. Sweeping that right arm back around to the floor. All right, and then from here, ladies, you know it's coming. We're just gonna take the right knee back in. Right, finding your table, and we're gonna move to our first down dog of the morning. So tuck your toes underneath, and we're gonna lift the knees and hips up and back. All right, so remember, your heels do not have to touch the floor in your down dog. You can have the knees bent, heels up, dropping your head. So just making sure in your down dog that you mostly feel it in your spine and your back is straight. So legs can get a stretch, sure, but later we'll do more stretching for the legs. I just want you to feel like you're feeling really tall in your down dog, that your tailbone is going way up and way back, and your head and neck can just drain all of the tension. You guys look really good. So if you want to try something fun, if you don't want to try something fun, stay here, right? If you want to try something fun, I want you to hover your left toes like 2 inches off the floor. That's it. And now you're balancing on those 3 limbs. Now, could you engage your core and lift the right hand at the same time? What? And if you fall, you fall. Hey, take it back down from down dog balance. Yeah, that was a hard one, right? I see people kind of wiggling around. Now, right toes lift. And you can stay right there. Or you can add the left hand to lift. What? Breathe. Down dog balance. Coming back with a hand and the foot to the mat. So all the limbs are on the floor. We're going to look forward and you're going to walk your feet to your hands for your forward fold position. You're going to come to your Uttanasana. So you're staying down here in your forward fold. Let your head hang. I know you want to look up at the screen, but try not to. I know I am because I'm peeking at you. But try to let your head be super heavy. And then tune into the backs of your legs. What are they feeling? If they are super, super tight, go ahead and just a little bend in the knee. But if they feel good, we're going to lift the tail as high as we can. Really let the head go. Remember your breath, remember your word. Now, while you're down here with your feet, I want you to press through the 4 corners of your feet, right? So the toes are on vacation. I want you to engage the muscles in the legs and the abs. Start to roll yourself up ever so slowly from the bottom of your spine to the top. Don't rush it or you get dizzy, right? So little by little, unraveling until you come all the way to stand tall. Nice. I love coming up from a forward fold. Feels so good. Right, so we're at the, wherever you are on your mat. Find your mountain pose, your Tadasana. You know this one, right? So feet are parallel to each other. Quads engaged a little bit. Shoulders roll back and down. Pull the low ribs into the body and lift up through the crown of the head. So you've got your Tadasana, your mountain. Refine your breath, even if you have to close your eyes to do that. Whatever you need to do to find that deep breath. You know what, let's just do a little flow, just a little flow. No sun salutations today, but a little flow. So on the inhale breath, we'll sweep the arms up overhead. On the exhale breath, come into your forward fold again. So if you need to soften the knees, go ahead. On the next inhale, sliding your hands up enough to come to a flat back. And on the exhale, folding into the legs. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up to the sky. We're gonna add a mini back bend here, guys. So exhale, leaning slightly back. Inhale, straight up to the sky. Exhale, dive back forward. Perfect. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, fold down into the legs. Inhaling all the way back up. We're gonna skip the back bend. Exhale, hands at heart. Perfect. Okay, so if you are facing the front of your mat, we're gonna add a warrior 1 here. If you're at the front of your mat, you can step your left foot way, way back. Not too far back, but enough where you can keep your hips facing the front of your mat, right? So you have some width between your feet. They're not in a line on a tightrope. So you've got that. You're gonna bend that front knee, that right knee, I believe, right? Sinking those hips, drawing your tailbone down. So you can feel now the stretch through that front of the left hip flexor. Right, so keep that stretch. And today, instead of sweeping our arms up, we're gonna actually take our hands behind our back. If you can grab hold of your wrists or even your elbow. So again, really focusing on trying to get some of that tension out of neck and shoulders, even though we're working legs too. So back leg is straight, front leg is bent, warrior 1 legs. We're just holding here. And if you could try and focus on breathing your low back into your forearms behind you. Try that. All right, we're gonna switch it up here. Everybody straighten your front leg without locking the knee. Right, so engage that right quad. I'm gonna add a little pyramid pose. So heart is still lifting, arms are still behind you. So watch your balance here. We're gonna fold forward at the hip hinges. Right, pulling right hip back, left hip forward, and keep a flat back. So we're not gonna go down all the way right now. We're just checking in on our right hamstring and calf, maybe even the left leg behind us too. So just breathing into that tightness. If it doesn't feel tight, you just keep hinging forward a little deeper. And check your right toes. If they're crunching your mat, try to release them. You guys are looking good. Breathe here. We're gonna just do a couple breaths between these two. So on the inhale, lift your heart, bend your knee back to warrior one. And then exhale, fold forward, straightening that leg, going to your pyramid. So one more like that. Inhaling up. Feel you can get a little deeper on that pyramid pose when we come forward, straightening the leg. All right, ladies, inhaling yourself back to warrior one legs. Good. And then from here, release the arms and take a big inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Good. Exhale, hands to either side of your front foot. We're going to go ahead and step that right foot to a plank. Now, some people might want to drop their knees in plank. Go for it. Otherwise, staying up nice and tall on a plank. Reach through the heels and the head at the same time, pulling the belly, slight tuck of the tail. Breathe here. If you don't want to be here, I understand. And then from here, everybody is going to drop the knees, untuck the toes, lower down to the belly. So your hands should be kind of by your armpits, right? Press the tops of the feet into your mat, the fronts of your pelvis, neck is long, look down at the floor, and then inhale, lift your heart off the mat, a baby cobra. Use your back muscles so you could float your hands if you needed to, and then exhale, release. We do that 2 more times, ladies. Inhale, lift your heart, and exhale, release. So one more time, inhaling, lifting the heart, and then exhaling to release. We're gonna tuck our toes underneath on the mat. Use your abs and your arms to help you come back up into downward facing dog. All right. That's it, holding down dog for 1 breath. And then as you're ready, you're gonna look forward and you're gonna step your left foot to the front of your mat, planting your right heel down and in, and we're gonna come up for warrior one legs. So big inhale, now it's the left knee, right? I'm gonna switch sides. Left knee bent, right leg behind you straight, hips straight. And now again, grip the back of your forearms behind you. And you probably gripped it the same way you did before, so switch the grip. Good listeners. I see you, good. All right, so you're here, warrior one. So just kind of sinking into that front of the right hip flexor, straightening the back leg, feeling like the right thigh lifts up to the ceiling behind you, but then the left knee sinks in front of you at the same time. Squeeze those hips together. All right, we're coming to our pyramid next, so straighten your left leg without locking knee. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, folding at your hip hinges with a flat back. All right, and check your toes. Check your balance. You know, abs will help you here, that you don't need your toes so much if you can get your abs helping you. All right, we're gonna flow with the breath here, girls. On your inhale, come back up, bending that left knee, heart straight. And then exhale, folding by straightening the left leg and coming forward with the heart. So just warrior one and pyramid. Inhaling up. You got it. Exhaling forward. Let's do one more. Good job. And then from here, we're gonna come back to our warrior one, bend that front knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to either side of the foot. I shadow, step the front foot back to your plank. So it's up to you guys if you want to do a flow or not. If not, come to down dog. If you do, drop knees or not as we bend the elbows and maybe hover down toward the floor. And then inhale into a baby cobra or a big up dog. Tops of the feet and hands. And then use your belly muscles to go up and back to downward dog. All right, so everybody will meet in down dog. If you're there already, great. Peeking, let me see, everybody looks good. Take a look forward at the front of your mat. We're gonna step both feet up there or hop if you want. All right, and then all I want us to do is just peel ourselves up to a mountain pose. So unravel the spine all the way back up tall again. How are we doing on time? Okay, we're good on time. We're gonna do another series, except open hips. So let's see, if you're on your front of your mat, let's now step the left foot back, but open the hips, so that both the hips are facing that left side of your mat. Feet are pretty much in a line with each other. If you're pointing your right toes to the front, your left toes also turn in toward your body a little bit. Okay, hello, shadow. Great, so from here, Float your arms parallel to the floor. Shoulders down, right? Bend your right knee into warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2, just to start, right? Peeking out over your right knee so you can see your right big toe. And just breathing here in warrior two for a couple breaths. All right. Ladies, we're gonna drop our back arm. I think we did this last week too. Oh, it's one of my favorite poses. We're gonna do a little half moon. We might need your block for this one. You're popping your back leg close into your front leg. So left leg pops in. You're gonna grab for your block if you have one. If you don't, no big deal, no big deal. So the block goes out in front of your right foot. Ideally, armpit to hip distance, but we'll just see what happens, right? So here we go. Look at the floor. Don't look at me, right? Look at the floor. Start to draw your left leg in so that all your weight comes to your right leg. And then maybe you could lift your left foot off the floor. Maybe you can lift it higher and higher until eventually it gets to hip height, but doesn't have to be today. Look down, look down. If you still want more, the left arm can rise to the ceiling. And then if you still want more, you can take your gaze towards your top arm, but you don't have to add that part. Breathe. Wherever you are is good. Wherever you are is good. So wherever you are, everyone bend your right knee, plant your back foot behind you. Inhale yourself up. Good job. That was really good. So before we leave to do the other side, all I want us to do is drop our right heel out. So now both sets of toes are kind of facing that same edge, that left edge of your mat, and your feet are still in line. We're just gonna add a little forward fold here. So heart is lifting, hands can come to the hips for now. Start to fold forward without locking those knees. Flat back, as far as you can go. When you can't get any further with a flat back, then it's okay to round your spine and drop your hands toward the floor and coming into that nice, relaxed standing fan pose. Yep, everybody's looking good. Tailbones are lifting. So check in with yourself, and are you paying attention to what you need? Find your breathing. We're taking one more deep breath in this standing fan. Great. And then from here, ultra slowly, so you don't get dizzy, we got to roll up from low spine to top spine. Beautiful. I am just going to flip-flop my feet, depending on where you are on your mat. So now that the left toes are in front and the right toes are facing in. It just makes it easy for me with my mat facing you guys. But wherever you need to be, we'll just do the other side. So finding warrior two by bending the left knee, right? Or whichever leg you didn't do before. Arms are parallel. We're looking out over the left fingertips. So holding here and breathing. In your warrior two. Check your shoulders. Do they want to crunch you? You want to relax your shoulders. Taking one more breath. And then knowing a half moon's coming, we're going to just drop the back arm. We're going to tell ourselves that we're going to be mindful in the moment and adjust as we need to, right? No big deal. Don't let your ego get involved. So hop your back foot in and take left hand to your block or whatever you can reach out in front of you. Good. Now keep the face and the focus on the ground and maybe lift your right leg. Listen to your body. If it needs to modify, you modify. If you're tweaking your half moon, the top leg is flexed, arm up to the sky. I know it's a lot. Pull your belly in. It's okay if you're not there. If you're having a cramp, come down. And everybody start to come down. Bend that left knee. Plant your back foot. Whew, right? Yikes. Do one more standing fan here. So again, now just dropping the left heel out. So both toes are now facing the same side of your mat. And then one more fold. So you're going to fold forward and just releasing any of that tension into your your forward fold with the wide legs. Not staying too long. Let's start to slowly come up out of this pose. Ground through your feet, your legs, your abs. Big inhales to come up. Good, and then we're gonna step or heel toe the feet back in, and we're gonna work one more standing pose before we come to sit back down on the floor. We're gonna do our tree, our balance. So, finding a spot. If you are outside in the trees, that's awesome. If you have a tree to look at. So when you're ready, always start in mountain pose with all your poses actually, right? Ground through your feet, shoulders back and down, bellies in. And when you're ready, find a focal point with your eyes. You're gonna soften one knee and open that hip joint to the side. So some of us are just gonna keep both feet on the ground, and that's perfect for today. So if you want a little extra, you can lift that bent knee foot up to rest below or above your knee. You choose. Keep your eyes fixed on that spot that doesn't move, and then you can choose your hand position as well. They can stay out to the side or come to the heart or overhead. Remember, if you need to come down sooner, it's okay. And then as everyone's ready, we'll come down. If you're not ready, no big deal, just join us later. Wherever you are, kind of cleansing breath, let it go, right? So that's the other thing, no attachments in yoga. So whatever happened, happened. Whatever's going to happen will happen. We are trying not to have any expectations. So we'll bend the other knee when you're ready and open that hip. Take your time, ladies. Take your time moving into your version of tree this morning. And again, coming down when you're ready. Don't wait for me to say it. Don't wait for your ego to yell at you. You're just listening to your joints, in your breath, in your muscles, and all that present moment stuff. Remember, if you are already down, that's okay. Just wait for us in mountain pose. So you come out of tree when you're ready. I am ready, but you take your time. All right, my friends. So most of us are out of tree pose. We're going to go ahead and sit down. And if you have a strap, grab it and have it nearby. Okay, so have a seat on your mat. Okay, having a seat with your strap. Everybody's got their strap, great. So grab your strap. You're gonna have it in front of you. You're gonna basically grab onto your strap with your hands about shoulder distance apart. Okay. I know some of you have done this one before. It's funny because when we come to sit, I'm looking for the music. I forgot to mention to you guys if you have a playlist to put it on, but no big deal. So when you're ready, we're gonna inhale to lift the arms up overhead. And when you're ready to exhale, we're gonna drop the arms behind you, but you have to give a little bit on that strap, enough so where you can get your arms behind you, but you're also able to do that without really bending your elbows. Yep, you got it. So inhaling, we're coming back up overhead. And inhale, exhaling, coming back in front of the body. So every time we come back in the front, we gotta readjust the hands. So we're gonna take the hands back to shoulder distance. Yep, you got it. And inhaling up overhead, give it enough give, but not so much where you don't feel a stretch. You know, it's that perfect spot. Oh yeah, there it is, okay. So we're gonna keep going like this for a few times, ladies. Inhaling up and exhaling down, readjusting as you come back to the front. I know it's not easy. We're gonna do one more wherever you are. Take your time, do this last one. Use your breathing. And then once you're back at center, we don't need this strap, but we will need it in just a few more minutes. So just set it down near your mat. And then we'll work some hips in a double pigeon pose. I'm gonna show you the modified version first. So modified version, one leg is straight out in front of you, the other one bent, and that shin calf area comes to rest on the thigh. Now, if this is too easy, and most of you have done this pose with me before, so you probably know where to go. We're gonna add a fold to this. Now, but that's too easy, the bottom leg also bends to mirror the top leg. So you're really matching your ankles and your knees, one on top of the other. So the tendency that some people do is they take this bottom foot close into the groin, but you actually want it further away from you. You'll get better stretch that way. So you should have your shins like stacked on top of each other. If this is hurting or this doesn't work for you, remember, just straighten your bottom leg. No big deal. Right, so once you've got the leg position, flexing the feet too will help with knee joints. Make sure your spine is nice and tall. So you should feel this more so in the leg, the hip that's the leg on the top. I didn't tell you which one to do, right? So that leg. If you don't feel much, if you happen to have super flexy hips, I know some of you do, you're gonna add a fold to this pose. So keeping a flat back, you're gonna fold forward at your hip hinges, right? Just to the spot where you feel it. And if you still don't feel it, I know some of you could probably fold in half. That's not me, but go right ahead if that's what you need. We're just holding this pose, right? So finding your breath. If you can focus on that word again, focus on that word. Ask your hip joint to just loosen up a little bit. Right, the whole hip area is not only attached to our stored emotions, but also our creativity. So just working those things today. When you're ready, next inhale starts to take us out of the stretch if you folded. Ooh, mama, right? Yikes. So we're gonna switch sides. So as you're ready, we're just gonna unfold the legs and go to the other side, right? So switching out bottom for top, top for bottom. Now, both sides are different too. So you may get to this side and you might need to straighten that bottom leg if it's too intense, or vice versa. So see how your hips feel on that other hip. And again, always moving slow into your poses. See how this feels. If you feel you can handle more, then add your stretch, right? Don't rush it. But if you are ready, go ahead. Folding and bending into that hip, glute, hamstring, piriformis, that whole area. Everyone feels it a little differently. There we go. So let's take 2 more giant breaths on this leg. Find your breath. Ready? Slowly, slowly, when you finish that second breath, come up out of this stretch. Ooh. Gently, gingerly unfold those legs. Maybe extend them out just for a moment to shake them out a little bit. Okay. We're ready for some supine postures. So you're gonna need your strap handy, but let's just come on down to lay down on your mat. Right, so just get there anyway, mindfully or not mindfully if you've got kids or animals running around you, right? Do whatever you need to do. Just gonna find a nice tall spine. And once you get down there, just really focusing on your breath before we add the postures to come. And then once you've made your transition down on the floor, you're gonna walk your feet to each other. Knees are bent, right? And then the knees fall open and the soles of the feet come together. So kind of like our Baddha Konasana in the beginning of class, we're just doing it now reclined. If this isn't too intense stretch, you can put blocks or blankets underneath your thighs on the outside. Just check on you. Everybody looking good? Yep. All right, so just holding here for a couple breaths. I know the mind wants to go to the next thing. I know it does. I'm gonna keep my eye on the clock, I promise not to go over. So you can just relax here. Taking one more breath. All right, and then if you can reach your strap, hopefully you have it within reach. We're gonna grab the strap. We're gonna pull the right knee only in and take the strap around the bottom of the right foot, extending the right leg up to the sky. That left leg stayed bent out to the side, okay? All right, so you're gonna wiggle that strap, you got it with both hands, to the base of the ball of the foot, right? It's not right in the middle of the foot. You need some resistance here, so you're gonna slide that strap a little higher so that you can pull on the strap and get your toes to come toward your shin, right? And you're pushing the heel up to the sky. Nope, and just holding here and breathing. Advantages of the strap is that you can really ground your shoulders into the floor and you're not stressing or straining your neck, right? So go ahead and feel like you can just get those arms to sink into the floor, the shoulders, as you stretch through the back of the right leg. Breathe deep. All right, we're gonna let the foot come out of the stretch just like an inch or so to get some of the tension out of it. And now keep the strap just in your right hand. So both sides of the strap in your right hand, left hand to left hip. This kind of keeps that left hip from wanting to lift. And now right leg goes out to the side, right? I'm gonna hit my wall here, but you guys keep going. So keeping that left hip from popping off the ground. And just holding there. If something's getting intense, come out, no big deal. This is your practice. And now with strength, with arm strength and belly strength, take that right leg back up so the right foot is over the hip. Whew. Good job, guys. Okay, before we leave here, we got one more pose, but we need to get this left leg out of the way. So left knee rises to the ceiling and then extends out straight on your mat. So left leg is out of the way. We're gonna come to like a crossover twist. Now grab the strap in your left hand, right hand to the floor next to you, and draw your right leg over to the left toward the ground. Does not have to meet the ground, right? That right hip pops right off the floor. Try and ground through your right shoulder. It's okay if it doesn't completely. And just breathing here into this twist. If it's too intense, bend your right knee. Holding here, a couple more breaths. All right, guys, ready? With strength, taking that right leg back up to the ceiling. And then we're gonna bend that right knee in, pull the left knee in too. So you're gonna grab hold of you can relax your strap next to you, grab hold of your shins or your knees and just kind of give yourself a hug and a squeeze, lengthening the low back. All right, you got it. Take the feet to the floor, knees are still bent, right? We're gonna take the strap around the bottom of the left foot. So left foot extends and left leg extends to the sky. You're holding onto the strap with both hands and right knee falls out to the side again. It's really just a counter measure with our weight. Okay, here we go. You ready? We're just working the back of the leg first. So getting that strap to move up the foot enough where you can pull the toes towards your shin and push through the heel. Staying here and breathing, grounding through that. Both shoulders and even that left femur right in the hip. Grounding that leg as the heel reaches away. And then we're gonna add that hip opener again. So taking the strap and just your left hand, right hand to the floor next to you, letting the left leg fall out to the left side. Holding here for a few breaths. And check your thoughts in your mind and see if you can wrangle them back to your breathing. All right, guys, we're going to draw this leg up to the sky. Take your time to get it there. We're going to pull the right knee to the ceiling and extend the right leg on the mat. Switch hands on your strap. Left hand to the floor. And drawing this left leg over to the right side. So into your twist. Holding there, breathing deep. Noticing what's going on in the rib cage, the belly, the chest. Almost done. Right, as you're ready, we're going to lift that leg back up to the sky. Take your time to get it there. We can release the strap and take both knees into the chest. I'm going to rock side to side a little bit, massaging your back. And then one last thing, draw the feet to the mat. Knees are still up in the air, but now walk your feet mat distance apart. I know I did this one a lot. It's so good for the SI joint and the low back. So we're going to windshield wiper these knees back and forth. So we're going to drop to the same side, whatever side that is, and then up and over to the other side. We'll go ahead and windshield wiper those legs. If you want to hold on one side, go ahead. And then as you're ready, coming back to center, let's just draw the one hand on heart, one hand on belly. Eyes can be open or closed. And I just want you to tune into yourself and see if there's something else that you want to squeeze in physically, or if you're ready for relaxation. And if you're ready for relaxation, taking your hands by your sides, palms up, you can extend those legs or keep them bent if you have back issues, right? And close your eyes and we'll do a little quick relaxation. I know some of you have meetings and such. If you need to switch out, taking a few breaths, and I'll see you later. But otherwise, we'll work into a little relaxation here. So if you need a towel or blanket under your neck or your knees, go ahead and get comfortable. And then once you're comfortable, I want you to remember the word that you chose in the beginning of class. And then feeling your breath. And just like we did earlier, inhaling that word to fill you up. And exhaling as you see that word make a bubble around you. So wherever you are, inside or outside, this thing that you need is enveloping you. So 2 more times, breathing that word in and out. And you can let it go. Unless it brings you more comfort, you're welcome to take this time to think about the word. But relaxation, usually just let it all go. So just make sure your whole body is soft as well. If there's any signs of tension, melt. Just see them melting into the ground. Check your jaw. Just feel your whole face is soft. And be quiet for a few minutes as you rest in Shavasana. Okay, so I know some of you are still relaxing, and that's perfectly fine. I'm going to just read to you a passage from Journey to the Heart while you're still relaxing or while you're starting to move. It's called Love Yourself Enough to Relax. Oh, perfect. And I understand if you've got to go, you've got kids to tend to, etc. Our bodies react to the world around us and within us in many ways. Our bodies act like sponges. They can soak up healing energy, or they can absorb and trap the negative energy of stress and tension. Some of us are so used to keeping our bodies tense and bound up, we don't even notice how much they hurt, how strained and tight our muscles are. Connect with your body. Learn to tell how tense it is. Take a few moments throughout the day to see what hurts, what aches, what muscles are being strained. Although tension can affect the entire body, many of us have favorite places in our body to store stress, places that usually become tense, rigid, and full of aches. Necks, shoulders, lower backs are favorite traps. Become familiar with your body and where it stores stress and tension. Then, learn to relax. Explore different options. Therapeutic massage, well, not during quarantine. Self-hypnosis, meditation, soaking in a hot bath, sitting in the steam room, exercise, visualization, taking time to do activities that bring you pleasure. If you make the effort to explore relaxation techniques, you will find ways to relax that you like and can afford. If you've been soaking up too much stress, give yourself a break. Let your body start soaking up some healing energy too. Love yourself enough to help your body relax. If you're still laying on the ground and you're ready to come out of Savasana, start to wiggle toes and fingers and make those tiny movements. Again, take as much time as you need. At some point, you will roll to your side and come to seated. No rush. Everybody's up. We're going to take our hands to our center. And just bow into your spark, your light, your sparkling light. I know all of you have because I know each one of you. So having gratefulness for your own beauty. Namaste. And thank you. I'm going to unmute everybody. Figure this out.